We're live.
And welcome. We are live once again here at Victor Escalante Live. We want to welcome our resident marketer, Jose Monterrosa. Good morning, Jose.
Good morning, Victor. Thank you very much for the invitation again.
And we have a very special guest. Why don't you tell us about her?
Yeah, so this is my colleague, Michelle Wickmandy. She's a content manager expert and Google AdWords expert. She's very knowledgeable in both areas. So I think she will be able to provide a lot of input into what we are going to be talking about today.
Yes, and we're going to be talking about restaurant marketing. Last week, we had the managing partner, David Reyes, who was very interested in the topic. Of all things, it was lawyer marketing. And I don't know how we got into restaurant marketing. So who knows where this is going to take us. But At any rate, we're waiting on David Reyes to connect. But in the meantime, why don't we go ahead and get started with the topic of today? And we're going to start out with messaging and branding. So Jose, take it away.
Yeah, no, and we're going to be covering more than this, but this is probably the first thing that we want to talk about when we looked at the website from your friend Fonda Santa Rosa, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So correct. Yeah, I got it right. So yeah, we checked the website, and the purpose of this video interview is to actually analyze the website, right? What are the things that we believe are working? What are the things that need some improvement? So here we go.
Do you want me to pull up their page?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
Yes. So first and foremost, we want to say that, we were able to find some very good things about Fonda Santa Rosa.
So you have it,
one of them is the amount of Google reviews that they have. That is absolutely a plus. I think there's like something close to 800 reviews. Yeah, so that's very good. I don't know how long it took them to build that amount of reviews, but that's a very positive one. The other positive thing is the amount of Facebook followers that they have. It's close to 5,000. So I mean, it's not. It's good. I would say that it's very decent compared to other followers that we have seen for other restaurants. Where we see that there is some room of improvement is on the Instagram followers. I think it's very low right now. So, and I know that in the past we have been talking about ways to increase that. So that is something that probably needs to be considered moving forward. But in terms, yes.
Talk to us about why Instagram for a restaurant needs to be a big part of the social media mix.
Because Instagram is very visual. And what is more visual than food? Right. So there is an opportunity there to build some followers. And, by building that presence on Instagram, I think that you have that great opportunity to bring new people, maybe people that were not or are not your usual customers. So why not take advantage of that? And Instagram right now is allowing you to build more followers very easily with Reels. So that opportunity is open, I think.
And now we have David Reyes, who is joining us in the conversation.
Hi, David.
Hi, David.
Hi, good morning. Thank you for joining me to this meeting. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about your website today. So it's all constructive feedback, things that you may want to consider. So we already talked about the Google reviews, which is great. The Facebook followers, which is great too. And there's some work to be done on Instagram. So we realize that, and I think that is an opportunity that is open. But in terms of message and branding, I want to go back to the things that I mentioned before about connecting attributes with benefits and values. And this is a good example of how that can work. And let me put it this way. An attribute could be delicious Mexican food, okay? And that is almost like the basic level of how you can brand and build a message around your business. If we want to go to the mid-level, then maybe we need to talk about the benefits associated with that attribute. And just to give you an example, one benefit could be, and this is all hypothetical, right? I mean, I'm just, just going from what I'm seeing and from my experience. One benefit could be I can feed my family and myself at an affordable price with the food that I like. I leave this place very happy and with the desire to come back. That when a customer says that, he's basically talking about a benefit that that individual is associating with the business. Now, if you want to take it to the emotional level, then you need to talk about values. Again, connecting an attribute to a benefit and to a value. And the value could be eating at Fonda Santa Rosa brings back my childhood memories with my 24/7 job that I have in Houston. That I have here in Houston. And coming here is for me is like reconnecting with my roots and with my friends. So if you are able to take that person back to where he came from, then you're touching a very emotional point in that individual. And when we talk about branding, that is something that you may want to consider in terms of how you build and craft your website in terms of visuals and in terms of copy content that goes into that website. So again, if you want to get to the basic level, you talk about attributes. If you want to take it to the mid level, you talk about benefits. If you want to take it to the top level, which is values, then you start touching people's emotions. And I have seen some photos of the restaurant and some videos that you have available, and you have that environment that feels very Mexico, right, in the inside. So I think that somebody that comes inside your restaurant is probably feeling that way, and when he tastes the food, is probably connecting with that. But we don't see that on the website. So that's the part that we feel like, okay, so there is some work to be done here.
Jose,
So
Jose, could you give us some more examples of how to take it to the ultimate with messaging? Because that's what we're talking about here is messaging. In my mind, I can come up with several ideas, but I want to hear what you two have to say.
yeah, so I mean, how you take it there is how So one, you can think about two components here: the visuals and the copy content that goes into the website. So the visuals can be, hey, can I create more photos that can take people to that old place in Puebla, Mexico, and they can connect with that? Can I build some of that? Can I take some photos of those food plates, with the food served, that can actually take people to that place? Then if you do that, I think that you're accomplishing that high level that we are referring to. But the same thing can be done with the copy content. How you tell that story when people lands on your website, that is another way of connecting to that high level. So it's a combination of both elements. What is visual in terms of graphics and photographs, and what can people read when they visit your website. Michelle, I don't know if you wanted to add something to that.
I did. I thought you made an excellent point when you said um, authentic Mexican food in Houston, because in order for people to find your restaurant online, they're going to do a search. And typically, what they're going to use is some keywords.
Right.
So, including the location, whether it's downtown Houston, Galleria, Houston, having those key words is very important so that people can find your restaurant online. So not only do you want to think about having the placement of specific keywords like within the content, but we also need to make sure that those keywords are strategically placed in your file names, your images, uh, your title tags, your meta descriptions, and whatnot. So just to follow up on what Jose said, yes, we need to make sure that the content is appealing, it's enticing, it's intriguing. We want to make sure that those images also entice the customer into the restaurant. But first and foremost, we need to make sure that the copy is intriguing, it's appealing, using those powerful words that are that have emotion tied to them. So again,
and
going
I,
back to your roots.
right, and I want to clarify that right now, Michelle basically introduced the other part of this. So one thing is how you tell the story, right? And another thing is the technical SEO aspect of the content. And
Let
that
me
is exactly
translate. Let me translate what you guys are saying
okay.
because I know what you guys are saying, but David and some of the other viewers may not.
Okay.
So, Michelle, talk to us about what a meta tag is so that David understands that and why it is critical for search.
Okay. So in the back of your website, when we upload images and when we create content for your website, we have different tags. So one of them being the title tag, because that is so important. The title tag is that title that appears in the search engine results. So when we go to Google, for example, and we want to find best restaurants in Houston, we put that into our search, and up comes a bunch of 1,000 or 1,000,000 different results based on those search terms. So that title tag is extremely important. It almost acts as your billboard. You might think of when you do a search and you get those search results, that essentially is your billboard. And we want to make sure that your title tag is correct and it uses your keywords. Maybe it's best or authentic Tex-Mex or Mexican restaurant, Mexican food in Houston, whatever that might be. Then in those search results, you see not only the title tag, but underneath it, there is a description. And we want to make sure that we create the right description. If we leave that description blank, Google will automatically go and create something for us.
Yes.
And it's much better for us to create the right messaging for you, for your billboard, say, than it is for Google to create it. Then
This is on the back end of the webpage. Let me tell you why this is so critical. One of the law firms that I was the marketing manager for, I found out, I'm not a techie guy, but I found out from one of our consultants, this is a $20,000 page that did not have the right meta tag. Okay. So what that meant is that in a lot of searches, Google searches, we weren't showing up at the top of organic searches because we didn't have the meta tag. And that's something that if you need more specificity, then we can follow up with you to help you to maximize your web page in order to be able to capture the audience that you're after, which is the people that are searching for authentic Mexican food with the taste of Puebla.
Yeah.
Uh, give
And
me a second here.
Victor, I wanted to add to that we did not find the title and the description tags in the website. So
Okay.
that to us is missing. So again, this is like looking at the old yellow pages, right? And
Yes.
you are basically not found on page 1 to 2,000 because you don't have a title and you don't have a description. So that is why we feel that it's very important. Just it's a very basic step, but it needs to happen.
but in addition to the title tag is just very important because that's your billboard. If you think of if we compare this to traditional advertising, that search engine result that shows up on Google is like your billboard, and you need to make sure that that has the right keywords, it's got the right description, and that it first of all, so that you can be found. And then second, it needs to be descriptive and alluring so that people are compelled to click on that link and go over to your site. The other areas where it's very important to include your keywords would be like in your headlines. So I noticed on your website, there were sections where it said soup and salad and breakfast and lunch. And what I would do is I would make that more descriptive. So I would include the type of food and maybe in Houston, maybe play with the keywords a little bit so we're not so redundant and we remain interesting. The one thing to be careful about when we start using our keywords is we don't want to sound robotic. We need to make sure that we're still appealing to the human, but we need to strategically input those keywords so that we can be found. So we add keywords into our headlines, into our title tags, any file names. So the images that we upload on the website also use those keywords. And when it comes to restaurants, any type of a retailer, I definitely would want to put in the location, such as Houston. Those are very important. So the strategic
the area of Houston where you're located, because if somebody's doing a search as big as the general Houston area is, we know that we're not going to drive an hour across town to find you.
Right.
But if I find out that you're 5 minutes away from me, that's the deal maker. That I want to go there. I want to experience a new restaurant in my area that has authentic Mexican food from Puebla. So to piggyback on what Michelle is saying is you know how we have certain names for certain dishes from the Mexico City, the Puebla area. It's like use those keywords like Michelle and Jose are saying, like huevos a la whatever the phrase is, huevos a la mexicana tipo Puebla. I'm just making
Mole.
stuff.
I was going to say mole, you know.
Mole, yeah, mole is very traditional. Okay.
Yeah. So those are, and by the way, I did a search of Fonda Santa Rosa, and there's quite a few restaurants in the area, maybe competing at different levels, but there's a lot. I mean, you're in a very good place, I think, but being in a good place comes with more competitors, right? The physical place that you are in, it's strategic. But the thing is that a lot of people want to be there as well, and they are. So the more you distinguish yourself among those other restaurants that may be within the 1 mile, 2 mile radius, then the better for you. So that's another thing to keep in mind, what competitors are in the area. But Victor, if I may, you know, can I jump into the homepage layout and talk about that?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Let me pull up.
And there are a few things that you may want to consider for your homepage. And so, for example, just to mention a few, just this is just aesthetic, right? But your logo is in the center of that photograph that you have there, which is not your usual place for a logo, but it pops. It's very visual. It's you can find it immediately. The thing is that it feels a little bit unbalanced when you have the top menu items and then you have nothing on the other end of that row. So you know, it's a symmetry thing going on there in terms of, you know, visual layout of components in your homepage. But another thing that I felt is an opportunity that can be exploited better is to bring your schedule, your days and hours more prominent. Right now, it's almost at the bottom of the page. I think there is an opportunity to highlight them a little bit more by being more at the top of your homepage. Also, adding a contact form right below the hours, I think is critical, because you can you're making it more easy for people to contact you in case they have more questions about the food and the hours that you're open. Another thing that I feel is very important too is to have testimonials. I know that you have a good amount of reviews on Google, but it will be nice to add those testimonials to the homepage, because at the end of the day, for new customers, the ones that don't know you, it's always good to let other people say what they want to say about you as opposed to you doing the talking, right? Let other people speak for you, and that build trust. And again, I'm talking about the new customers, not necessarily the loyal ones that already know you and are frequent visitors of the restaurant. I
And I
will
might
also,
I'll add
yes,
something. Go
yes,
for high level influencers, okay? Because David, I know that you are plugged in to the top Latino business owners here in Houston. When they visit your place, that's the opportunity to record, even if it's on your phone, a testimonial of these people, because again, that's name recognition and that's hitting their followers,
right,
especially when you tag them. So,
yes,
so
yes.
uh, that gives you tremendous credibility when one of those high influencers visits your facility.
And you know what? When we talk about influencers, which they do a great job on social media, right? We're not necessarily talking about the guy that has, 75,000 followers. And we're this may be like a community leader. This may be a prominent business owner. Hey, can you leave a review here? Because I know that you are a trusted voice in the community. So, just having a review or a testimonial from you is a big plus for me. So might as well just invite that person to leave a testimonial. Other things that I think that you may want to consider is adding more images of the food on the homepage. I know that you have a few there and they look very appetizing, but I think there is an opportunity to add even more of that so people can actually see exactly what they're going to get when they go to the restaurant. And another minor thing, but it's still important, is to add your social media buttons. This is for many businesses, this is a default. I think those are missing on your homepage. So hey, might as well just add them, right? Because when I was in your homepage, I wanted to go to your Facebook, I wanted to go to your Instagram, but guess what? I have to go back to Google, do a search, and then find them. So that's probably another thing that I would recommend adding.
Well, and to piggyback on that, Jose, is if when people go to social media, or if they're at when they're at your restaurant, they're very apt to take pictures of their food,
Right.
right, and
Yes.
share it
Yeah.
and make comments about it. So it's just very easy if the buttons are right on your website, very easy to share information. And oftentimes that will automatically generate those great reviews that you're looking for. So
And you know what?
I'm eating this authentic dish, and it's the best mole I've ever had. It's the
Right.
best quesadillas I've ever had. You've got to come to this place.
Yeah.
And so that just automatically starts to generate those reviews that you can then put on your website. So in addition to asking for people for their reviews, which is still very important, and to not only get text reviews in text and also video, but oftentimes people will leave them right on their social media accounts.
And to make it even easier for them, you can just add a QR code and sticker and put it on the table, or maybe have some,
Yes.
tabletop that has a QR code and just, hey, leave us a review, right? Or share this on social media. I mean, you're encouraging people to do that. So
That's the new
that's
normal. Absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
Uh, David, you have your microphone muted for the background noise, but feel free to join us if you have any specific questions. This is being recorded for you so that you don't even have to worry about taking notes.
Okay, thank you so much. Yes, I was taking some notes, but yes, will be perfect to review it again. And yes, everything, a lot of stuff that you are talking about is relative new for me, especially about the testimonials and the social media buttons on the website. I believe that will be working too much better than that we have right now. And yes, I believe I have a lot of work to do. I have sometimes but the restaurant, and thank you, Victor, for the how you say the concept that you have for me. But this is a small restaurant. It's very unique in the way that we are offering the real Mexican cuisine. And sometimes, after COVID, we were struggling with employees. So sometimes I have to be in the kitchen, sometimes in the
Right.
dining room, and too little time to do the marketing issues. So, but thank you
Yeah.
so much.
I want to
Absolutely.
I want to say two things. David, I think we all knew Polo Becerra, okay, the late owner of Puesto Grill. One of the things that made Polo and Puesto Grill so famous and successful was that Polo was always walking the restaurant in his chef outfit, asking how the food was. Okay, it's like that became a norm that people were expecting for Polo to come to your table to find out how the food was. And again, it's like he was going to make it good. If there was anything that you disliked or the soup was salty, it's like anything, he would fix it. Okay. It's that personal touch. It's that made to feel special when you are eating there that people return back for. People in general, the research suggests that two reasons why people continue to go to the same restaurant over and over again when there are so many other choices is the ambiance, how you are treated, the ambiance of the aesthetics of it, how well decorated, how welcome you made to feel, and the food, of course. Okay. But sometimes people place the ambiance as more important than even the food because, again, everybody wants to feel special. And so if you give them that extraordinary attention, people are going to come back, continue coming back. The other thing that I wanted to talk about is how you could exploit in the images of what Jose and Michelle are saying, even more to take it to the ultimate level of standing out from your competitors is again placing in the background, and this is something that even I could teach your people how to do. Placing in the background scenes of the traditional cathedrals of Puebla, of Mexico City, that small town atmosphere with a plate in the foreground, in the front with that ambiance in the back, or even a serape as a backdrop for to convey that messaging of authentic Mexican food. Does that make sense?
Yes, you're right.
And by the way, the logo has those two cupolas, right? Uh, 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 is that the cathedral in
The
Puebla,
cathedral.
Mexico?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, okay, yeah.
Mhm.
That's what I figured. Which is it's very unique in that sense, right? I mean, in a way, you're connecting immediately with your logo, with that special place in Mexico. So
It makes
again,
sense.
this whole idea of providing you this feedback is to actually probably take that a little bit further and make people connect in a very unique way with your brand and the experience that they can have inside the restaurant.
Yes, and you got it. Not too many people can identify the cupolas in the logos. Many
Yeah.
people they don't pay attention, but that's the meaning because Mexican cuisine was born in conventos there in
Uh-huh.
Mexico. So the nuns they were creating the Mexican food. So it's a
Right.
combination from pre-Hispanic and Spanish food, and it
Yeah.
was created most of them in Puebla, Mexico.
Gotcha. Okay, great. That's an story right there, right? So
Yes.
there you have it. So it can definitely connect emotionally with a lot of people.
Now
And like
let's blow
those,
that up. Let's blow that up, guys. It's
okay.
like
Uh-huh.
think of 16 de septiembre coming up.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay.
Now is the time to be planning 16 de septiembre celebration all the month of Septiembre because again, the revolution started in Puebla. Okay. So it's
Uh-huh.
like so think of creating an ad campaign of declaring war on all bland Mexican food, Tex-Mex food,
Okay.
and having your food as the winner. Okay,
Yeah.
there's all kinds of ideas that I can come up with for you to create that buzz, for you to create that excitement, and to get your patrons, your restaurant customers behind that. You could start a culinary revolution.
Okay,
That, well, that's an idea to consider, definitely. Yeah.
good. Thank you. Thank you.
Let me also share one other thing about the map because that's very important.
Yeah.
I handled the social media for a brand, and when we put a a picture of the map where they're located, we had something like 2,000 likes. Okay,
Okay.
compared to a meme or an ad, digital ad that was typically getting like 1 or 200. It's like people went crazy over the map because again they found out that they were located right in that radius of where they were located.
Sure.
All right, that's
And this
yes,
this map can be an image or can be a Google map embedded on the website, right? So
yes,
it can be done
that's what we're
both ways.
doing. Yes,
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking was the Google business profile where
absolutely,
you have the
absolutely.
profile and then you have the
Right.
map that goes with
Yeah.
that.
Yes,
Awesome.
that you can click through to where it shows up in your own in your phone or in your web page when you're looking at the company's web page. All
Yeah.
right. Anything else to add about these particular 3 points, Jose or Michelle?
There's obviously more that can be done, but these are like the things that we consider. Hey, maybe these are the first set of things that you may want to take care of immediately to upgrade your website and make sure that you are uh, performing on Google searches the right way, right? Because again, you have many competitors around you, so might as well make the effort to stand out. And these are things that are not going to take too much time maybe to fix, but I think that they need to be done, I would say.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's move on. Let's do a deeper dive on search engine optimization.
Yeah, so this is Michelle's
Okay.
sandbox, so go ahead, Michelle.
Okay. So to start, we've talked a little bit about the importance of search engine optimization and including these keywords strategically in various places throughout your website. We talked about the importance of having the keywords in your title tag, the meta description that shows up on the search results, in the file names, and then in your headline, subheads, and so forth, and strategically placed in the throughout the content. But first and foremost, you're probably thinking, well, how do I determine what my keywords are? Right? I mean, that's the very first thing that we need to think about is developing our list of keywords. So what I would recommend is based on how the customers would search for the restaurant, start from there. And then I normally will do a search for myself. And at the very bottom of Google, when you do your search, they'll come up with a list of related searches. So
Mhm.
it might be authentic Mexican food in restaurant. It might be the best Mexican food and restaurant in Houston. So there's a variety of different ways to extract these keywords. And then there's other tools that are available, and that would be like your Google research tool, where you can insert some basic keywords and you get a list that will give you some additional suggestions. Jose, do you have anything else to add for that?
No, I mean, I think that's always a good start. Just go to your Google, do a search using the keywords that you think people are using to find you, and then Google automatically will actually give you a lot of ideas. on those keyword phrases that you probably need to consider when you are building your content in your website. So I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's not that difficult to do that match, right? Because Google allows you, it makes it easy for you to find those keyword phrases that you need to add to your copy content. So again, things that need to be taken care of. I know that for many companies, the website becomes like the second physical restaurant, right? Because one thing is where people come and buy the food. Another thing is where people actually find you, find the menus, find the different food options that you have, and that usually is the website. Nowadays, social media is playing an important role with that. But think of the website as the place where people land when they are searching for you. So if they don't find that right match between what they know about Mexican food from Puebla and and what they find in the website, then there is a disconnect there that needs to be fixed.
The trick to this, as you can imagine, there's going to be many restaurants throughout Houston, many Mexican restaurants throughout Houston, and it may be that you may find similar. Um, the keywords may be similar from restaurant to restaurant. So the trick of this is to find the right keywords and then to strategically insert them in your copy. But again, we need to make sure that we're using the right keywords that the customers would use to search for your restaurant. But we also need to make sure that our content is engaging, that it stands out, and it differentiates you from the competition. So Jose is right that it is fairly easy to generate this list of keywords that are relevant to your restaurant and that people will click on. But again, we don't want to sound robotic. And what I mean by that is we want to be careful that we don't, what we call stuffing keywords in the copy for the sake of having our keyword density, just repeating ourselves with these keywords. We want to make sure that the copy stands out. We need to make sure that it's written for people, that it is appealing, so it lures them into the restaurant.
Very good point. Absolutely. Yeah, it has to be unique for sure. It doesn't have to be like a robot developed this, right? So that's actually a very good point. Yeah.
And I think it comes back to telling those unique stories. So telling the story of how your food is different, telling the story of how you started and how you got to where you are today, and within telling those stories, and even telling the stories of the dishes, of the recipes. If it's grandmother's recipe, if this is a recipe that's generations old, telling those stories so that your content is different, it stands out. I want to know about you. I want to know about your restaurant. I want to know how this restaurant developed. But we need to make sure that we use those keywords so again we can find you.
Since I know a little bit about the story,
Okay.
David, this is where your mother, Doña Tere's story of being a tamale maker in Mexico City and how she had the best tamales. This is like the tradition lives on. It's like
Awesome.
I am bringing to you my mother's recipes that she was the best homemaker that people came from all over to eat her food. We lost David. Let's see if he can reconnect. So his brother, David's brother, started Tamales Doña Tere, which is the Mexico City tamales. They are like this big, guys. It's like this. It's like 2 inches diameter because they're so big, and they have something like 25 different flavors. So
Wow.
yes.
Okay.
So so again, telling that tradition of where the food comes from is critical in order to be able to develop that following, the loyalty, that people want to go taste the food.
And I love that you said about the 25 different varieties. And I
Yes.
would have to wonder how many authentic Mexican restaurants in Houston can offer that many
Zero.
variety.
Zero.
And,
Okay.
and that is one of the key differentiators that needs to be highlighted.
Yes.
And if there's any contests or awards, 25 different varieties, that sounds great.
Hold me back, because I could put this restaurant on the map, and I could make this the place to stop of all the politicos from driving across town instead of going downtown to the restaurants on Navigation Boulevard. All right. I don't know if David is going to be able to join us, but he will have this recording. Guys, talk about anything else related to these particular points on the screen.
Maybe one thing, yeah, thank you, Victor. Maybe one thing that I wanted to add is that, branding can take different forms and
Yes.
shapes. We talked about having the right message, right? And how visuals and copy content can deliver that message. But I have seen examples in which some restaurants basically allow art to tell that story.
Yes.
So they will probably hire an artist that can develop unique visuals for the restaurant. And in the sense that, I own this style, right?
Yes.
It's not so much adding photos of Puebla, Mexico, because maybe anyone can do that. But if I can even customize this even more, I can just hire an artist and look, this is the feel that I want for my place, and this is my brand statement, right? This is
Yes.
my main message. This is my position. Develop something that connects with this and is unique to my place, and in that way, I own this. Nobody else has.
That is why, that is why Don Eraquis has that huge mural. As you walk in, you cannot ignore that huge mural that tells the story of traditional Mexican food.
Yeah.
That is why there's another one on Canal Street. I don't remember the name, but I was commissioned to photograph that restaurant when they unveiled their big mural. So again, these people really get it to create that ambiance that people want to go eat.
Right.
It's going back to their native land to be able to taste that authentic food.
Yeah, and then maybe a thing that you can even add to that is creating those Instagram moments, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So you have your food, you have your visuals that are organic and unique to the restaurant, but maybe you have a spot inside the restaurant where people can actually go there and take a photograph and share it on
Yes.
social media, right?
Yes.
So I mean that's another thing that I see happening.
So Jose,
Yeah.
I don't mean to interrupt, but you're creating the Kodak moment.
Yes, exactly.
Absolutely.
The Kodak moment.
And that should be monthly, or that should be related to key holidays like Valentine's Day. That you could have had a mural. You could have had like low cost signage that people could take selfies that they ate at Fonda Santa Rosa. It's like,
right.
why go to boring same old restaurants? It's like,
right.
Go to Mexico by traveling to Fonda Santa Rosa.
Exactly.
And include the unique hashtag.
Yeah. Or better yet, get a frame made for Instagram. Okay. With the hashtag right there on the front of the frame that people want to take selfies with.
Right.
Again, this is the new normal that we live in. I come from Legacy Media, and in Legacy Media, again, we were very buttoned up. We're very formal. because you spent thousands and thousands of dollars in promoting your business. I have with me the instrument. I asked Jose if he had used it. Michelle, have you ever used the Prism Claritas?
I don't know that I maybe I have, maybe I haven't. I don't
This
recognize
is old legacy media that we segmented. All of the masses were segmented into all these
Right.
different categories. Okay.
Right, right.
This is, and I'll share this with you, David. I'll have to come meet with you, but this is how we segmented all the different people that you want to target to come up with those keywords, to come up with the things, the values that are important to them, to where they will build a literally a path to your door.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. I recognize that very much. Yes.
Now, I want to share something with you. Very, very interesting fact. There is no such thing as viral social media. That is a myth that is not true. What happens is that legacy media breaks the story or runs the story. And then what happens is that voice gets amplified through social media. That's a fact. This is according to research. It is legacy traditional media that starts the viral process, and social media just amplifies it and blows it up. Okay. Going back to legacy media, did you know that Subway, remember the guy that used to do the Subway commercials?
Right.
That got started with a newspaper running a story, and it was even a college newspaper of all things, running a story on how he lost so many pounds eating Subway. The rest is history. Because again, it was the story that got amplified, and it just became perpetuated in people's minds to where I think the guy's name was Jared, and everybody wanted to eat Subway because they wanted to lose weight like Jared. Okay, that's what we're talking about in the messaging and the branding. Okay,
Right.
David, do you have any questions for our experts?
Uh, yes, first of all, I'm sorry something was wrong with my phone right here and it took me out. But yes, I have some questions um, about you were talking before for the Google search engine.
Mhm.
Uh, so how can I start doing some a campaign? Well, after fixing all those issues in my website, I would like to know, as you already say, Victor, meeting with you or somebody to do the segmentation, and then after to run an advertising campaign. So that's what I would like to do, and
Yes.
that's what I obviously need to do. So how
Well,
can
you came to the right place. We should have a reunion, guys.
Yeah. Yeah.
This will be a three-prong approach on how to blow up Fonda Santa Rosa. We'll get with you for the details, but let's continue.
perfect? Very
Uh,
good.
Guys, Michelle, this is your
Right.
sandbox, as Jose
Okay.
says. Ads and social, on social and Google AdWords. Talk to us about that.
Okay. So once again, we have to think about what is it that we want to advertise. So is it our food, our the entire restaurant, our staff? First and foremost, what are those campaigns going to be? Valentine's Day specials, right? Up next is going to be Easter, uh, and so on. So we have to think about what are those campaigns? What do we want to advertise? And then it goes back to the messaging again, because when we go and we do a search and we have a list of ads that also appear. Not only do we have the search results in the organic search results, but now we've got the ads that we're going to select from, and we still want our ad to come up in the first one, two, three, those first few spots.
Can I add something there, Michelle?
Absolutely.
Yeah, because I think that we also have to think about what is the goal of this campaign, right? Is
Right.
it to generate awareness? Is it to generate traffic? What is it? Because let's say that we have Valentine's Day coming up, and we may say, you know what, we're gonna run ads the weekend prior to Valentine's Day, and we're gonna run them for maybe 4 days, because in 4 days this thing is going to be over, right?
Hmm.
What you're probably not considering is that you're just basically opening the door immediately to people, and you're expecting people to rush through that door right into your restaurant. You need to prep them, and what I mean by you need to prep them, maybe 2 or 3 weeks prior to Valentine's Day, you're generating an awareness campaign so they
Right.
can know about your brand. When you're very close, like 3 or 4 days prior to Valentine's Day, that's when you hit them with the promotion, right? So they are not completely new to your brand. You build that brand prior to that specific event. So I think that is one thing that a lot of people miss when they are advertising on Google or social media. That okay, we have Cinco de Mayo coming up, right? So we're gonna create a Cinco de Mayo ad and we're gonna run it for 3 days. Wrong. I mean, you need to prep those people prior to Cinco de Mayo for that Cinco de Mayo promotion to be successful. I mean, that's the way that we will do it. So again, setting up what are the specific goals that you're trying to achieve, and how you are going to strategize in terms of deploying that campaign through social media and Google AdWords. Sorry for the interruption, but I wanted to emphasize that.
Right.
Otherwise, you're liable to spend thousands of dollars and not get a return on investment.
And I think the other thing
Yes.
too is being realistic with a budget.
Right.
So if we're going to start to build awareness, and we need to think about, first we need to build some awareness, and then so we generate interest up until the event, and then we do more of a promotion,
Right.
advertising. We need to make sure that we have enough of a budget so that we can accomplish our goals.
Mhm.
Beautiful.
And
Go ahead.
and I will add that behind all that, there are certain tactics that you can do to ensure that you have success on that campaign, such as remarketing. I mean, that will be so the reason why you want to prep people prior to that specific event, like Cinco de Mayo again, is because the folks that saw your ad, which was more meant to generate awareness, you can remarket to those individuals. If Facebook allows you to do that, right?
Right.
You can look for individuals that already saw your ad, and 2 or 3 weeks prior to Cinco de Mayo, you were just making them aware of your restaurant. But 4 days prior, you hit them again. Those same individuals that saw your ad, Facebook allows you to do that. You can hit them again with a promotion. So again, there are some techniques behind the scenes that can be used to make this a success.
And the other thing too is we have to think about our copy, and again having those strategic keywords embedded in the copy, in the headlines and in the descriptions again, because your ad is going to appear based on how people search
Right.
the words that are the keyword phrases that are entered into the search engine.
Michelle, give us an example of the right copy so that listeners and David can really get the point here.
Okay. Well, I don't have anything prepared, but if I was
Just off
thinking
the top of your
about
head.
if I was thinking about a headline off the top of my head, I'm going to use authentic Mexican food in Houston or in the specific area. authentic, or maybe it's even the best authentic Mexican food in Houston. And then in the description, I'll get much more specific about it to include the details of that particular event, that particular entree, whatever it might be. But again, it goes back to making sure that we use those keywords strategically, and we make sure that we add the location, especially for a restaurant. The location is very important, making sure that we advertise that.
What would you, as far as copy is concerned, what would you include?
On the oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I think the question is for you, right?
Okay. Words that I tend to use, in addition to those keywords, I like to use what I call power words. So things that, amazing. If it's food, we're talking about delicious. We're talking about authentic food. Best restaurant in Houston, authentic recipes. If we were talking about a Valentine's dinner, we're talking about making a magical moment. So again, going back to what is that event? If it's Cinco de Mayo, we're thinking about a festivity. We're thinking about fun and excitement. If we're thinking about Valentine's Day, we're thinking about magic and making these wonderful magical moments. If we're talking about the food, it's the most delicious food, the best food in Houston, the best restaurant, the most authentic, real authentic Mexican food in Houston.
And many times it's not only about the food, but the drinks as well, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. They go together.
Yeah, the experience.
Right.
Guys, we are 2 minutes out. Any final last words?
Just happy to be able to participate on this. I really enjoy just sharing some knowledge and things that can help businesses, and especially Hispanic businesses, succeed. So this is an enjoyable experience. So thank you very much for allowing me to do that.
And thank you, Victor. I echo Jose. Thank you so much for inviting us and to share some information. Really enjoyed this experience, and again, thank you.
Thank you, Victor, for inviting me. Thank you, everybody, and hopefully I can meet you soon to do something about it. And please come and try your food. I'm pretty sure that you will enjoy it. Thank you.
Absolutely. We're going to make you a celebrity. It's like, as seen on Victor Escalante Live. Go visit Fonda Santa Rosa. Well, guys, I want to personally thank every one of you that joined us for today. And if you have an idea, if you would like your business reviewed like we did for David, be sure and contact us. Jose, how can people reach you?
Well, they can reach you or they can reach me. I mean, Jose at imaginacommunications.com. More than happy to review your site, your social media presence, your Google AdWords campaign, and just give you feedback.
And Michelle, how can they find you?
I would say contact Jose. I work with Jose, so just contact Jose directly.
We will have that information in the comments so that you can just click through or call him directly. And of course, you know how to contact me. You can send me a direct message, and I'll be happy to talk to you about blowing up your brand. Well, guys, that's all we have for today. Go out and make it a successful, great week. And we will see you next week here at 11 o'clock with another topic that is useful for businesses here at Victor Escalante Live. Until next time, so long.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you.